This video are for the Prius people, especially over at Prius Chat. I'm going to post this over at Prius Chat, priuschat.com. There's a wealth of information. If you're just clicked on to my YouTube and this is the first video you're watching and you want to know a little bit more about electric cars, especially Priuses and the electric compressors, get on to priuschat.com. There's a wealth of information over there. There's some very skilled and technical people over there who actually work in garages that help you and give you away information for the do-it-yourselfer who wants to learn a little more. I will be posting this video over there. This is just for some guys who like to get some pressures and temperatures, who get false information from off the internet, from YouTube guys, of what pressures should be. So here's a situation where my return air temperature is coming from that probe right there. This is the return air going back to the evaporator that'll load it up. And as you can see, it goes way back there and it picks up the average of all the air being pulled in right here, and I could feel the hot air from the radiator and condenser coming this way. It's being sucked right in. But I'm also getting air that gets pulled in all along this crowd, through all the cracks and everything, through all these little holes. What is a little cooler because there is no hot air over here, and it mixes as it goes in that direction. So the air, if you took an air temperature reading here of 120 degrees, and I took an air temperature with a probe right here and it's like 60 or 70 degrees, it all gets sucked in that direction down that hole, and it mixes and it becomes an average of all the air. So if you just took the temperature by lying your probe out here, saying, oh, this is the temperature I'm getting, it would be a false reading. So we have 80 degrees going in. Our supply air coming out of the duct dash is 43 degrees. I have all the doors open because I'm trying to load the system. I'm not letting the cold air build up inside the car. I'm actually loading the system so it works hard. You can hear the whining of the compressor. Let's listen. Listen carefully. You hear that? That whine is the compressor. Let's take a look at the sight glass, because the bubble boys like to charge by bubble, and they say it's filled or not filled by bubble, but that's a bunch of bullshit sometimes. There's conditions where it could lead you down the wrong path. That's enough for the bubble boys and the guys with the little jerk-off cans who like to have that little gauge and tells you when it's full, what means absolutely nothing. So here we are. Outdoor bulb temperature. That 69, 70 degrees is being taken by this thermistor, and this thermistor is the air that is going across the condenser. That little thermistor on the end there, that's your temperature probe. We're taking that air. This is the low side. This is going on the suction line. SLT, suction line temperature. That is the temperature of the line coming out of the evaporator. And that's the one you see right back there. It's covered up by rags to protect it from the exhaust manifold radiating heat onto my probe that would heat up the plastic of probe and give me false temperature reading. You have to know when you have air blowing over a sensor or hot radiant heat, it'll give you the wrong. You got to try to protect it. On the other side, this other one, this is for the liquid line. The liquid line located right here. I'm attached right here. But if I felt like I wasn't so lazy, I would remove this and attach it right at the bend, right where it comes out of the condenser, to get my best temperature. The liquid line temperature, right there. LLT, liquid line temperature. Over here, you get this software that you could download on your Android or your iPhone tablet or your iPhone, and this connects up to the Bluetooth to the gauge, gives you all the reading. The Bluetooth to the sensor for your return air. Your supply air, my supply air is by that probe right there that you see blinking. So I'm taking the passenger side center duct dash, and as you can see, it is 44 degrees right now with 81 degree air being sucked down over it. So now I'm going to close the doors, and this will trap all the cold air in the car. And remember the sound of the compressor whining before because it was under a load. If you listen to that compressor, if I had TechScan hooked up Toyota's software, you'd see from the sound of that compressor, I'm familiar with it, it's spinning up around 5,000 RPMs because I had all the doors open and I had hot air coming inside. So now let's trap a little air, and you're gonna see the high side fall, and it's whining the piss out of itself because it's trying to lower the pressure on the suction line, because when you lower the pressure on refrigerants, not only do you flow more refrigerant, but when you lower the pressure, you lower the temperature. Now my ears can pick up the compressor just slow down about 500 RPMs, and if I was watching it on the scanner, I can actually see. We see the pressure coming down. We see our duct dash temperature. The pressure is coming down, the load is coming down, so the compressor doesn't have to work so hard. Now if I listen for the compressor, I almost can't hear it. It's about 2,800 RPMs. Yeah, I could barely hear it. Can't even feel the vibration anymore. Listen, that's about 3,000 RPMs right now. It's lowering because there's no longer hot air being introduced with all the doors open. So now it's capturing all the cold air. The temperature is falling. We're still at 41 degrees. Look at now, we were at 170 some PSI, but because it's not working so hard, because there's no sun load and I just closed all the our suction line temperature has dropped to 41 degrees. Because we don't have such a load anymore over the evaporator, the compressor doesn't have to work so hard. Look at our liquid line temperature. It has dropped to 98 degrees. So all this, it's automatically compensating. Now if I was to put a can on here and start charging it, and if it was low a little bit, you would see high side go up, low side go up, then low side come down, high side go up, trying to compensate because it was low on refrigerant. It doesn't know that. The computer just tells the compressor to whine the piss out of itself. It doesn't know there's a guy out here stuffing refrigerant down the system. Then it would start to catch up, and then it would go down. It would, if you were doing a can with one of those stupid little gauges, it would be going up and down, and usually the customer, if he's trying to do it himself because he went to the auto jerk-off store and bought one of those stupid little cans with the gauges with their stupid instructions that lead people often down the wrong path and burn up compressors, this would be going up and down, but they wouldn't know that, remember, because you just have a can with one gauge and you don't get to see what's happening here off the other side. Let me do one other thing. Let me get this liquid line temperature and go to the other side of the line to discharge the hot discharge gas out of the compressor. This will might get my fingers hitting a fan and making some noise there, or it might burn me, but let's see if I could get down there. So let's look back at it. We are 96 degrees out of the liquid line from the bottom of the. So now if I could grab this, and I have to drop it way the hell down there. I have to go under the car. So I will get this to go down. And now I have to get over here. And do this by feel. Here's the gauge, and as you can see, there's a big puddle of water developing back there because a lot of condensation is going on, because it's 76 and it's about 86% humidity in the car. And I'm going to have to put down, and there's the new condenser, because this condenser was just replaced. I have to put the phone camera down because I have to get down there. Let me see if I can put it in a place that you can watch me fumble around blindly trying to hook up to this phone, to this pipe. Let me get the pipe. I think it's going to stay there. Sorry people, you might not be able to watch.